on my website, it says, I have a passion for women's hair and a desire to bring out your inner beauty, because when women support each other, incredible things happen. And that is the freaking truth. I have the most amazing women in my chair. It's like such a blessing every single day to have the strongest women in Colombia allow me to do their hair. And if I could get all of us together in a room and have a party, I would totally do it, because they all need to meet each other and see how awesome each other are. But COVID. So I got this idea that I would do a podcast series on all of these badass babes. So that's what I'm calling it. Badass babes, because we want to celebrate all of the strong females that sit in the purple chair, or that have anything to do with the purple chair, or that are just in my life in general. And my first guest is Crystal Colligan, and she's just amazing. She's a super badass babe, for reals. During the production of Bad Girls, which is a local film, they just finished filming it, and she's going to talk about that story. She wore so many hats, including assistant director. That's amazing. She's a super badass babe. I can't say it enough. And I'm super excited for you to get to meet her. But here is your warning. The movie trailer is a bit saucy. They say some words that you might not want to hear. And this episode is going to be explicit in true fashion of that movie. So, if you choose to continue, know you've been warned. Hello, and welcome to the Purple Chair Podcast, my purple queendom, and my unique little corner of the universe where I get to create magic every day. I'm Lara Labuda, your scissor wizard, color alchemist, crystal toting, sage burning lover of all things purple. And what is the Purple Chair? Oh, it's the cutest little hair salon located above my favorite metaphysical shop in Columbia, South Carolina. And yeah, the chairs are really purple. I'm so grateful that you're here, and let's jump into the episode. Hey everyone, my name is Lara Labuda, and you are listening to the Purple Chair Podcast, and we are on episode What the Fuck Ever. And I'm here with Crystal Colligan, yeah. Colligan, and she is one badass babe, and I have a Rolodex of amazing women in my life, and I want their asses in this seat so that I can talk to them, so that you can meet them. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited you are here.
Excited to be here.
And we actually met at dance class.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are.
Belly dance.
We're both belly dancers, and we love you, Maria.
We love you, Maria.
You're on the list. I'm coming for you.
Yes, you're next in the
Yeah. So how long have you been dancing?
Almost 4 years. Well, as far as belly dance, I actually started dancing when I was really, really little. Actually, this is one of my things. I did like 13 facts for Friday the 13th, and I posted them on Facebook. And one of them was that when I was a kid, my first ever performance on stage was dancing ballet as a mouse. I was a mouse.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
It was very cute. When I look back and see pictures of it, it was very cute.
Oh my God, I love it. I can do one tap dance move and that's it.
Yeah. So I did tap dance, ballet, and jazz when I was younger, and then
Super
that just
cool.
kind of faded off. And then I got involved in theater, and
super cool.
It kind of went crazy from there. But yes, Alegria, almost 4 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did you wind up there?
I was always interested in belly dance in the scene in Colombia and everything. I had a lot of friends that were involved with it. And that was kind of like, it was one of those things that I was always really shy because I really wanted to get into it because I thought it was so interesting, but I didn't want to be that friend. I was always like, well, that's my friend's thing. That's so-and-so's thing. I don't want to interrupt so-and-so thing or leech on or jump onto it. So I just kind of always just went and just supported people. And then I got to the point where I was like, no, I want to do this. And I knew two of the dancers in Alegria, and both of them were like, no, you need to come out and check it out. And I went to a student show, and I got to talk to Maria briefly after the student show. And I was talking about all the like beautiful costumes for ATS because the colors and the energy of like ATS dancing. And she told me that she had a workshop coming up that May. And so I went and did the workshop, and I met Doreen and Judy, 2 of our dance sisters. I met both of them there at that one.
They're on the list.
And they talked to me about coming. They should be on the list. And they talked to me about coming to, because Maria came up to me at the end of class, and she said, now that you've done like the all day like workshop, you can come up to level 2 if you'd like. And she's like, we'd love to have you. And I was like, what, really? You know, and Judy and Doreen were kind of like, yeah, you need to do it, you'll love it and everything, you'll get addicted to it, it'll be so much fun. And I remember I was like totally like fangirl because I remember going and seeing Maria perform when she was like with Delirium, and they did like alternative circuit and all that stuff. So she was one of my favorite dancers by far. Her and Ashley both were like 2 of my favorite dancers.
They're amazing. So totally amazing.
And Maria, I totally was like fangirling. I was like, Maria like came up to me at the end of class and told me I can move up. You know, like I was all excited. So like I got home, and like my fiance, now husband, at the time he was my fiance, he was just like, I was like totally fangirl. I was like, I just got asked to be level 2 ATS, and he's like, I don't know what any of this means, but okay, you know. And he's like, that's great. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then I started doing that, and then I got talked into doing fundamentals, and I did fundamentals, and then it's pretty much anytime Maria offers anything, it's kind of like a drug. Dancing's a drug, folks.
It is.
Just letting you know.
Yeah, sucked me into.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just going to do ATS, and I'm not going to go any further. I don't want this to take over my life.
Yeah, and next thing you know, you're learning, you know, like rock sharky, you're learning ATS, and then Manton scarves with ATS, and then you're learning like, cool. Yeah. My newest thing is Maria is going to be offering a course in the Shamadan, and that's my new thing that I want to do. So I ordered my Shamadan, and it came in the mail, and I still need to put it together.
Okay, so let's tell them what that means.
Okay, so the Shamadan is a headpiece that you wear, and it's basically a candelabra that you wear on your head. It was at one time you would use actual like live fire and candles. A lot of places don't allow you to do that now indoors.
Oh, that would be super cool.
LED candles.
Oh, super cool.
But you still, I mean, you're balancing this whole thing on your head. It's like this harness that you put on your head, and you're balancing the whole thing, and you have to dance with this on your head and not knock over anything.
We've danced with swords.
Yes.
Yep.
Swords is my favorite.
It's very powerful to dance with a sword.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is very, yeah.
Did you name your sword?
I did not.
I named my sword.
Did you name it? What did you name your sword?
Confidence.
I like that.
I named my sword Confidence.
That's awesome. I did not name my sword. I just talked to her.
What you can't see is Scott's back there doing this.
Yeah, he's got his pen sword on his head.
We're bringing you in here. We're badass bros.
Yeah.
Yeah. So dancing. One thing about the dancing group here, I didn't realize that I had access to strong women, and that is like my favorite part about going. So today is Friday the 13th, but I know. So Fridays is my one of my dance days. So I went to class before I came to the shop and before all this happened, and I actually wore my Wonder Woman skirt for you today.
I love it.
But today it was we were dancing in ATS with our veils, right? Veil. There were 4 of us, and the little was with us.
Aww.
Oh my God! And it was just so cool because she's gonna grow up with this like.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know the word, but like this
community of very strong, towering women.
Yes.
I mean, I would say that everybody that we dance with is pretty much a badass babe.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Well, that's the list I started with.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree.
So, one of my favorite moments dancing with you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Do I want to know? No.
Yeah, it was at your wedding.
Oh yeah, okay. I was like, there's a lot of embarrassing moments.
No, she danced in her wedding dress.
I did dance, and my wedding dress had pockets. Do you know how excited I was about like?
Did you carry your zills in your pocket?
Yes, they were in my pocket. Well, somebody went and got them for me, and then we weren't quite ready yet to do the belly dance, so I like had them in my pocket, and I was like hugging relatives and stuff with like zills jingling in my pocket.
So you didn't walk down the aisle with your zills?
No, I did not. I actually walked down the aisle with something of my grandfather's.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. My grandfather passed away in 2012 from pulmonary fibrosis, and which is a very serious thing. And I can get on a whole soapbox about that, but I won't. But he died of pulmonary fibrosis, and one of the like last things that he gave me was a handkerchief when I was at church with him and my grandmother the Christmas Eve before.
Wow, so special.
And so it was just like I'd been sniffling a lot, and I was like, no, it's just a sinus infection, but I ended up getting a cold. And my grandfather he always carried handkerchiefs, and so he gave me one. He was like, here, it's clean. And then I went to I washed it and then went to give it back to him. He's like, no, keep it, that way you always have it with you. And I was like, oh, okay. And then once he, so I kept this thing, and I still have it, and that was that one in my pocket.
I love
and
it.
Stuff like that.
That's
and then
so
my
awesome.
grandmother had given me one of the, what do they call them? It's the little program thing that they give you at funerals, but it's not a program. It's like the little card
thing. Oh, the card, yeah.
Yeah. We had one of those, and she had folded it and gave it to me, so I had that and the handkerchief in my pocket. So that was my grandfather being with me.
But speaking of badass babes, who walked you down the aisle?
My now 88-year-old grandmother.
I know, so awesome.
You definitely, I wish we could get her on here, because
I have gotten to cut her hair.
Yes.
I got to cut her twice.
Twice?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I cut her hair
She
twice.
worked in the Senate of Pennsylvania, for the Senate of Pennsylvania. She was the first female nationwide insurance agent for Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
That's so cool.
And she basically broke all kinds of glass ceilings and for women in business and in politics in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So
cool.
She has so many amazing stories, and she just talks about them she was just grocery shopping. And it's just so commonplace for her. She's like, so this one time I was sitting there with Bill Clinton back when he was the governor, and you're like, wait, you were having breakfast with, how did you, wait, what? And she just nonchalantly, I basically started the CHIP program in Pennsylvania through the department that I worked for. And
That's
I'm
so cool.
This is amazing. It's just very cool, very amazing stories. So
super awesome.
Yeah.
So after your wedding, so you planned this whole wedding, right? Mm-hmm. And then you jumped in and changed gears after your wedding, and you started, right?
Yeah.
Filming.
Yeah, the weekend after.
Yeah.
Talk about a very understanding brand new husband.
Boom, right? Get married, start filming a movie, right?
Yes. The very following weekend. Actually, it was really funny because we were originally going to start. Everybody wanted to start the first weekend of November, but that was my wedding. And at one point, our director was like, "I'm sorry, we cannot do that weekend because our production manager is getting married."
Yeah.
He's like, "Sorry,"
Yeah.
and he's like, "And I want to attend that wedding." So we talked about I told him, I was like, you can totally go and film the first weekend without me. It'll be fine. I can join you the next day. And he was like, I want to go to your wedding.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you are the producer of a movie called
Bad Girls.
Bad Girls, and if you're watching this, she's got her shirt on.
With the lovely Corinne Halbert did this amazing artwork. It's original artwork of hers.
Oh, super cool.
She did a whole series called Mutations. I look her up on Instagram. It's Corinne Halbert. She is just amazing artwork. So it was very cool. I'm hoping that we can get some posters up on our Indiegogo with the artwork on it, because I personally want a poster for in our hallway at home. Yeah, and now that you can see my shirt, thanks to moving water bottles, this is the artwork for Bad Girls that was done by Corinne Halbert. She did this whole series that is kind of along this line that's called Mutations. You can find her, as I was saying earlier, you can find her on Instagram. It's Corinne Halbert.
That's cool.
And just great artwork. But you can also get this as one of the perks on our Indiegogo campaign right now.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
So you can go get that.
Where at?
Indiegogo.
Okay.
We have our Indiegogo campaign is up for Bad Girls. You can just go to the Indiegogo site, type in Bad Girls movie, it comes up. And we did not do like the standard tiered platforms because we didn't want people to get stuff with like a lot of stuff that they didn't want, you know, like sometimes you end up going like, I want the DVD, and then you get the DVD and the stickers and the pins and everything. So it's very a la carte. So like what you purchase on there is exactly what you're getting. You're not getting the stuff underneath it. It's not tiered. It's like a la carte.
Nice.
So you can go on there and be like, I want the shirt. I want the signed Blu-ray. Boom. There you go.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Okay. So I watched the trailer several times. And
the red band one, right?
It's very fucking saucy.
It's extremely fucking saucy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna quote you, right? You ready for this? You called it, I'm reading here, a drug-fueled postmodern female rage odyssey.
Yep, that about sums it up.
So can you tell me what it's about and what that means?
Wow. Way to put me on the spot.
I know. Well,
there.
I wrote you some notes here if you need to look at them.
No, you did write notes. No, it's 3 strippers basically go on a cross-country like crime spree. Murder, crime, everything. And it's very drug-fueled, and they have willing kidnappees. And there's a misogynistic federal agent that's chasing them across the country. So there's a lot of times like, think of this movie as kind of like what you would see like late night at like the drive-in movies, right? Like this is
like really late night.
Yeah, this is gonna be like your grindhouse exploitation, like just sex, drugs, punk rock, violence kind of movie. And but we have 3 really badass women in the lead roles.
That's super cool.
So it's like the tables are turned. It's kind of nice.
So with that, how do you balance that with your Graham watching?
Oh, yeah. So my grandmother is really, really supportive of me, and she really wants to see it. And we were talking because she had said something about me getting her the Blu-ray. And I have no problem showing this to my grandmother.
Yeah.
But because at 88, I figured she's seen a little bit of everything. But she also, to be fair, knew, and I've told her from the beginning, like, what this film is about. And, like, we've had conversations where I came home and I was like, she's like, how was today? And I was like, well, I'm stained red from fake blood. And I have lactose powder all over me because the cocaine bag exploded. Like, and she's just like, wow, you lead an interesting life. That's just like always her response is like, you have some interesting stories. And I'm like, you and me both, lady. But I have no problem with her watching it, but it is still like, she talked to me the other day about the Blu-ray, and I was like, I'm going to reiterate, there is sex and drugs, and it's gory violence, and there's, it's definitely explicit.
Not for the faint of heart, right?
No, not for the faint of heart. Definitely not for the kids.
No. So who would the movie be for? Who would you want? What's your ideal audience for the movie?
The ideal audience, I would say pretty much anyone that can handle it.
Okay,
I mean, and basically the target audience, I would love if we could get a strong like female like group following to like really get into this movie, because for me, being a woman, being on set, being in like the role that I was in was huge. I'm standing there most days, with the exception of the actors, I'm the only female in like a crew of all men. And I never once felt out of place. No one ever made me feel less than. Like, everybody listened to me and like worked with me, and it was just this great, like, there was so much camaraderie on it and everything. But I'm just so like floored because I remember staying up even though I was supposed to be sleeping late night at the drive-in theaters and seeing these kind of movies, and it was always very male-centric, very misogynistic, very male-centric, and there was never like this strong female, type. You didn't see the girls snorting drugs and then shooting somebody. You didn't see that. You saw the guys doing that and roughhousing the girls, and like the tables are turned on this. And so for me, as a girl that grew up around that kind of cinema, I'm like, hell yeah, like, fuck yeah, let's do this, know? So I'm like, I would love to see women get into it just as much as the guys are, because we've had a strong response for, like, obviously, like, from males, like 25 plus that are really into like the trailer and everything like that. But we also have been getting a lot of buzz from women in the same age grouping. So I'm very excited. I think it's for anybody, really. It's definitely not for the kids. Definitely 18 or older, but like definitely for anybody that's kind of into that old style of like late night cinema and like the grindhouse exploitation
I did notice that when I first watched the trailer, I was like, whoa, these girls are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, because I knew you had been working on it, and I was like, I know it's called Bad Girls, but none of it all, like, until I saw the trailer, it didn't all, like, it was like, didn't make sense. That's me not making a connection there. If you're listening, go to YouTube and watch it. It's more fun that way. So how did you get involved, like, with this?
Oh, wow. So this goes back a couple of years, actually.
Okay.
So Christopher Bickle, who's the director, him and Shane Silman, who was one of the screenwriters, like him and Shane adapted a stage play that Shane had written into the screenplay. And so the two of them, I worked with them originally on a stage adaptation of Plan 9 from Outer Space that originally aired at the Taps Art Center back when Taps Art Center first basically hit the scene.
I'm so sad it's not on Main Street.
Mm-hmm. I know, but actually you can still see a glimpse of it in our movie because some of the scenes were filmed in Taps Art Center, so that's kind of cool. So I worked with them for Plan 9 from Outer Space. I was stage manager for both runs of that, both at Taps and at Trustus. And then and then kind of like just died off for a while. And then Chris messaged me one day and he was like, I know you stage manage, but have you ever like been a production manager? Have you ever done like the stage managing thing, but like for film?
Is it different?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of things. It is quite the difference, but there's a lot of similarities. I mean, it's kind of the same kind of like idea concept of like what you're doing, but there's a lot of differences too. And I was like, well, to be honest, like I originally, when I went to school for my bachelor's degree, I originally had started out going for a film degree. So I had looked at wanting to be in film. So I looked into wanting to do film, and I wanted to always be like behind the scenes. I was actually more fascinated with like the effects stuff and everything like that. I have been since I was a kid.
That's super cool.
I've been watching like B-rated horror movies since I was like really, really little, and I was always fascinated with how they did it. I was like, my dad was so afraid that I was going to be scared, but I was never scared. It was just like, I was sitting there, I'm like, I want to know how they did that, and it's like, oh, I saw a wire, oh, and I'm like,
that's
oh,
cool.
They used ketchup, or oh, they used that, and I would come up with, so we'd watch these things, and then my dad would be like, what do you think they used to make that? And I would come up with whatever I thought they used, and we were, So I really got into that, and I really wanted to do kind of like the behind the scenes stuff with film. And then life happens, things change, and that kind of fell through, and I just kind of like stopped from there. So I had only worked on like student films. I never worked on like anything major, and I definitely was not doing production manager. So Chris was like, okay, and I was like, I have some friends that I know that have, and I can, and he's like, I don't want them, I want you, and I was like, okay, and so. He was like, he was really happy with the work that I did with Plan 9 and working with them, and there was like this rapport built and trust built, and so he was like, I want you. And so we talked, and he kind of gave me a trial at it. We filmed a short film called Vampiras Psychedelicas, which is actually on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube.
What's it called?
Vampiras Psychedelicas. Okay. It's a very short film. And it was actually filmed to be a film inside of another film. We were going to work on another film called Sister Vengeance, and had started working on that until that got shelved. But the Vampiras Psychedelicas was supposed to be a film within the film. Like in Sister Vengeance, the lead character at one point goes to the theater, and that is the film they're watching.
Oh, that's so fast. I never thought about filming for a film that's inside of. I've never thought about that in my life.
Mind blown. You don't really think about it. It's just kind of. And which was even crazier is one of the characters actually breaks the fourth wall to talk to the main character of the movie that it was supposed to be housed in. Like the lead character of Sister Vengeance was supposed to have like somebody from like that movie talk to her. through. It was like, it's so
Whoa.
crazy. I really want to make this movie one day. Just saying. It's going to happen.
That's making my brain hurt. That's so crazy.
Right. So we worked on that, and I did, you know, I helped out with everything, like, as far as, like, doing the breakouts for the scenes, like, everything. Like, Chris was, like, kind of took me under his wing, kind of gave me some really good instruction, and kind of, like, really worked with me. And it was like, okay, do you think you can do this for a full film? And it was like, all right, let's do it. And so we were going to work on Sister Vengeance. One day, we had an actress, we had everything all planned out. We went through all the stuff. We had all the breakouts done. We had everything done. We were getting ready to shoot. I think it was like 2 weeks away from like filming. And our lead actress, who is originally from Atlanta, decided last minute she didn't want to travel from Atlanta on through. So
okay,
she backed out, and then we just couldn't find the right actress in the time frame that we wanted. So we decided to shelve that, and then we kind of all took a break for a little bit, and then we came back with Bad Girls.
I love that shirt. It's so cool.
It is awesome. I love this artwork. I mean, Corinne did such a beautiful job. I love this artwork. And we do have a more kind of mainstream artwork poster also that's like up on our site and everything. And that's kind of, that was done by another gentleman for us. And that one's kind of more like what you would see, you know, at a Blockbuster or something like that.
Okay.
But this is kind of more the like crazy.
No,
yeah.
I think it's perfect for today.
Yeah.
So perfect for today. So how long did it take you guys to film it? It was here local, was it?
Yes.
Oh, here local, if you're local to here. We're in Columbia, South Carolina. But we have people listening
all over.
All over the world.
Yeah.
Seriously, yes.
So that's awesome. So kudos to you on that one. Because that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that. I'm just like local, and we're talking about local film. So hello everybody that's not from Columbia, South Carolina. But yeah, we had filmed it. Okay, so I started the second Saturday in November last year, and we finished like the first weekend in February, and then there was a couple pickup shots along the way and stuff like that needed to be done. But I mean, you're looking at what, November, December, January, like 3 months basically. Okay. And it was every single weekend, you know, like, because all of us work day jobs. Like this is not, this is a hobby basically. I mean, it's not, you know, obviously like crew and cast got paid, but, you know,
what was your budget?
At the same time, our budget was basically the cost of a used car. It was about like $16,000. So it's,
that forces you to get creative.
You have to get creative. Yeah, you have to get creative, and everybody has to be on board. We were very upfront with everybody. Like, this is what we're working with. This is what, you know, even when we were auditioning people, like, we were very upfront. Like, this is the kind of budget we're working with. You're going to get paid. We're going to make sure cast and crew gets paid.
Right.
But we can't pay, like, you know, it's not like going to be like feature film, Hollywood pay, you know, kind of thing. So everybody that did this, everyone that was worked on it, whether they're cast or crew or just somebody that came in to like help out along the way with locations or food or whatever, like every single person knew what going in, what it was. And it ended up being like this labor of love. It really did. Yeah. Like I have met some of like the coolest, like sweetest, like most awesome people I've ever met. You would talk about fucking badass, like fucking badass people.
Yeah. So when you guys were filming, there was you guys were filming at the dance studio one weekend.
Yes.
And we had a workshop happening at the same time. That was a total surprise. I popped out of the car and I'm like, oh my God, Crystal's here. I thought she was doing a movie thing. Oh my God, there's more people here. Oh, I guess we didn't plan that one very well. But it was so cool to see like that part of it and then see your actors and hearing them do their thing. And then I didn't see it all come together until I watched the trailer the other day. And I'm like, oh my God, that was that scene. Like I was like, I don't want to say watching it from the other side of the wall. I could only hear what was going on. But it was so cool to see that transformation of like movie magic. Like seriously, it was like that scene is like this big tiny room,
Yeah.
very little tiny room. And then to see it on that trailer, I was like, that's insane. That was really cool. So,
yeah, and that was actually interesting that day because
Yeah.
that's where like my worlds collided, right? Like you get so wrapped up in the job and working on the film and your head's in the film like the entire time. And I'm, a production manager, so I'm wrangling at best, like 20, 25 plus people on a given day.
Whoa.
And so you're trying to make everything coordinate and you're trying to make everything happen and like you don't want, there are going to be occasions where it's a lot of like film, stop, wait, film, stop, wait, film, stop, like so people are sitting there and you have to make sure that like people are staying occupied, but they also know when to be ready to go. And occupied in a way that doesn't interrupt with our sound quality and everything. So you're trying to juggle all this stuff. And you've got all this stuff going on. But it was like the weirdest thing because my head was in film. I almost forgot I was at the dance studio. And then I was standing there working something out, getting ready because we were getting ready to
I got there early. I got there like 20 minutes early.
And thank goodness you did because we had no clue. Like we would have started filming by the time you guys started like workshop. So Laura walks in and I'm like, hi, what are you doing here? I
said the same thing.
What are you doing here? And then like, I think Lynn or somebody was behind you. Somebody else was with you. And I was like, what are you guys doing here? And it was like, oh no, there was like a cross like miscommunication with the scheduling.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my gosh. And so we accommodated because like you guys came first.
We only had like we were only there for 2 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours.
Yeah. It was like 2 hours, and so we kind of had to like stop everybody, but keep the ball rolling. So we were kind of doing read-throughs with people and keeping everybody like warmed up. Well, you got to have the hot chocolate and everything.
I did.
Yeah, thanks to Aaron and Stefan and them all giving us breakfast. And,
Yeah.
So we kind of shared that with you guys.
Yes.
So.
A little bonus.
Yeah, bonus for behind the scenes.
For surprise show up.
Yeah. Little behind the scenes and craft services. So.
Boop. Everyone loves a little bacon. And if you don't, I'm going to drop it one more time. Fuck you. This is a side of Laura that I don't let out very often.
I love it. I think you should let out more. You just have to keep reminding everybody it's explicit before you get started.
Yes. Yeah, watch out, everybody. This one's not for the kids either. So we were talking before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
I watched a video. You shared it, I think, about this is going to be the year of the Underground movie coming up because Hollywood is like...
Yep. Yeah, and that was like one of the things that we said in our promo video for the Indiegogo campaign is that we talked about, Chris and I both feel, and pretty much everybody that's been involved in it, feels that, 2021 is going to be the year of the underground film because Hollywood was pretty much shut down from COVID. And so you're looking to like, people like us that, had work in indie film, underground film, and they're staying at home, they're making their own films at home or with their close-knit group of people that they feel they can socially distance with, and everything like that. So I think you're going to see more of that because people don't stop creating. And if you close people up in a quarantine, they're going to create even harder.
Oh, yes.
And so... I really agree that I think that you're going to see this resurgence of all this like underground cinema.
You guys really hit that, like, what a synchronicity that was, right? You guys just will you stop filming when in February?
Yeah, so there was a couple pickup shots. We finished pretty much like by mid-February we were done. And then like COVID like really
serendipitous. That's the word.
I mean, COVID really hit. That was one of the things we were talking about beforehand was, before we started today was, we had some people on the crew and casts and stuff that all work, in government jobs and stuff like that. And, they were all like, this is happening. We're going to get this. This is going to be here in America. And so there was like, everybody was pretty much aware of what was going on. But at the same time, we were all in our little like film bubble, but at the same time, we were very well aware of like what was going on around us. And then to come out of our film bubble and you're finally like, I get to take a break, and then all of a sudden it's like...
Then you really couldn't do anything after that.
Yeah.
Like you were every weekend doing your film, and then all of a sudden we're just like shut down and oh wow.
Yeah. So
whoa. So you haven't been on your first date with your husband yet? I'm just kidding.
No, we did actually have it. We went out to dinner.
Good.
But our 1 year anniversary, I mean,
I know.
We had it, it was on November 2nd, and
it popped up on my
I made a nice steak dinner, and we were at home because, you know, you still get nervous about going places and stuff like that, and everybody's still trying to be safe out there. And
this is the closest I've been to my Dan's sister Crystal
since like March.
Yeah. Like we haven't 6 months. It's been more than that. It's been way more than that.
It feels like more than that.
When we went to dance class, we just moved studio, and we were standing in our squares. So we were like,
we had to be
10 by 10. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
something like that.
We all had to have the spacing mapped out, and then we were wearing masks, so we can't like. And all of our group, we're used to like hugging, hanging on each other, and then we just can't do that. Yeah, it's so surreal.
Yeah, when she walked up the stairs, I was like, okay. Are you ready? Take off on the mask.
And I was like, I am completely okay.
Yay! It feels so free.
It does feel free.
Okay, so this is my Badass Babes series, and I want to end this every episode with the same question. What does it mean to be a badass babe?
Okay, so we were talking about this earlier, and the concept of badass babe, when you hear that, you automatically kind of think images in your head, right? So you think of like, you know, Angelina Jolie as Laura Croft, and Kate Beckinsale in Underworld, and Mia in Resident Evil, and you think of like...
Shit stomper female!
Yeah, you think of like leather and denim and weapons, and like,
Boots.
you know, they don't give a fuck, and it's like everything... But by the way, we have some of those in our movie.
A lot. We have a lot of them.
Thus the bad girls. But you think of that image and stuff like that, and to me, I think it's a little bit more, I guess, like more existential, more spiritual than that. I think that when I think of badass babe, I think of it as a strong female essence. So whether, you know, no matter who you are, if you have that strong female essence, and kind of like the yin and yang of that, right? Like it's somebody that is independent. It is somebody that's a free thinker. They kind of walk their own path, but they also understand like that sometimes in life you need people. You do need people. You need your foundation, your friends, your family, you know, so it's not I'm walking this alone thing. It's understanding that and coming to terms with that. The fact that they can be the girl next door, the sex kitten, the lover, the fighter. It's that yin and yang and that like strong female essence that makes you a badass babe. And the fact that you can like balance all of that and still exude a self of like confidence, and that you have your shit together. Even if deep down, like behind the scenes, you're not confident and you don't have your shit together, exuding that and keeping all that contained in one package, that to me is badass babe.
Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
I because of what I do in the hair industry, I meet so many different people, and I realized that I have trained myself to say badass people, and I want to include everyone. But I really did go for badass babes because I was like, I want to capture the female energy and the strong feminine, because I really think that the future is female.
Yeah.
The future is female.
We're coming for you.
We are. Yep. Yes. So I think you are a most badass babe.
Thank you.
Where can everyone learn a little bit more about you and the film?
Okay. Well, the film would be badgirlsmovie.com. So you can have our website there, and we do have a link to the Indiegogo campaign that's going on right now. Wow.
Hang on.
Pausing for the emergency.
We should have just kept the door shut.
Yeah.
It's all my fault.
It's not your fault. Someone's on fire.
We support
the
first
roof.
responders.
The roof is on fire.
Okay.
Finish it up, Scott. Don't leave me hanging.
We're back.
No, finish my song.
A dinosaur story. We're back.
The roof.
The roof.
I'm trying
The
to.
roof is on fire.
We don't need no water. Let the motherfucker burn.
Yes, because we can say that because it's the explicit episode.
It's the explicit episode. Yeah. Okay. So let's try this one more time.
Okay.
So, I think you are most badass, and where can everyone find you and about the movie? More information.
Okay. You can go to badgirlsmovie.com, which is our website, and from there you can have access to the Red Band trailer, as well as our press release, as well as links for like merch, and also links for our Indiegogo campaign, which is live right now. So that's out there. And then me, you can just find me on Instagram. I'm LunaCat78. So it's all lowercase, LunaCat78, and I'm on Instagram, and it's a public profile. So be nice.
Yes. Be nice or I'll kick you out. And I will link all the things that we talked about in the description of this on YouTube. If you're listening to me, and you can find me on all of my other social medias, but go to the purplechairsalon.com. My website is fucking cool. Okay.
It is very
it's
cool.
super cool. So thanks. And what?
Follow me on social media.
Follow me on social media.
Yes, follow this wonderful woman. Talk about a badass babe.
Huh?
This one right here.
Laura Cuts Hair. Follow me at Laura Cuts Hair. I'm sorry, we're struggling through the end here. Scott, you're going to be a badass dude on here one day.
Yes.
He's behind the camera, and he better include this because we need to show him love too.
Nice little wave from him.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and have the best day ever. No, have the best fucking day ever.
Yeah.
Bye. And we're back because Scott wants more information.
Yes. We opened up the floor for questions for Scott, and Scott had a new one. So, Scott, what was your question?
So what's the next steps?
So, what's the next steps? So, what's the next steps is that
For
we
her.
continue. For me or for
you.
the film?
For you and the film.
Okay.
In your world of production.
In my world of production, well, right now my role is to help promote the fuck out of this, which is kind of what I'm doing here, and kind of what we're doing with our Indiegogo campaign. That's going to be up for the next, I think, to the end of December. I think we are closing it on Chris's birthday. So
When is that?
December 28th.
Okay.
So we are going to have that going. We're still trying to. We hit our goal. We went with a modest goal. We went with only $4,000 as our modest goal, and we've far surpassed that because
Nice.
the response has been amazing. And thank you everybody that has done that. It means the world to us. So we're any kind of like right now, everything's pretty much like. The next steps will be getting the Blu-rays like printed and produced and getting that all distributed. So this is all pretty much like distribution at this point. And then anything extra is going into a kitty for the next project. So you asked next project, we don't know exactly. We had a lot of ideas while we were filming about like different things we like to do. I know that we'd love to do like a horror movie. I know we talked about doing a comedy just to break like the trend. So I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but as long as Chris wants to continue to work with me, I will gladly work with him because I had a blast. Like Films Colachita, awesome production company to work with. Definitely will work with them as long as I can, as long as they'll have me for sure. So
Super cool.
yeah. Other than that, I'm a data analyst by day and a belly dancer at night. So here we are. That's about it.
We should do a couple dance moves.
We're doing dances. We're gonna
do.
chair dancing.
Bye for real this time.
Okay,
Okay.
for real, bye. We love you.
Love you guys. I just met all of you, but I love you. And thank you for listening.